Welcome to Capital Catch-Up, your source for key legislative updates from the halls of Congress. I am Victor.
And I am Leanie. Today we are diving deep into several significant bills, resolutions, and policy initiatives that address national security, resource management, community needs, and public awareness.
Let us start with national security and cybersecurity, which have been major focal points in both the House and the Senate. First, we have House Bill 1468, also known as the Protect America's Innovation and Economic Security from CCP Act. This bipartisan bill proposes establishing a dedicated CCP initiative within the Department of Justice's National Security Division.
The primary goal of this initiative is to counter economic espionage and intellectual property theft by the Chinese Communist Party. It is designed to identify and prosecute trade secret theft and hacking, monitor non-traditional collectors in academic and defense sectors, and review foreign investments that could pose national security risks.
From a procedural perspective, the bill mandates strict resource allocation to ensure this program remains distinct from other national security efforts. It also requires annual reporting to Congress on its effectiveness, and includes a 6-year sunset provision. For our listeners who might not know, a sunset provision means the program will automatically expire after 6 years unless Congress votes to reauthorize it.
In a related effort to counter state-sponsored cyber threats, we are looking at identical measures introduced in both chambers, namely House Bill 2659 and Senate Bill 4565, titled the Strengthening Cyber Resilience Against State-Sponsored Threats Act. This legislation mandates the creation of a joint interagency task force led by the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, and the FBI.
This task force will coordinate the federal response to cyber threats against United States critical infrastructure posed by state-sponsored actors from the People's Republic of China, specifically targeting groups like Volt Typhoon. The task force must produce recurring reports, including classified assessments of potential infrastructure disruption, economic impacts, and risks to military mobility.
This is really about creating a unified front. By establishing an awareness campaign for infrastructure operators, the bill aims to improve the government's ability to detect and mitigate sophisticated digital threats during potential future conflicts, ensuring that both federal agencies and local utility operators are fully aligned.
Shifting our focus from cybersecurity to physical resources, Congress is also addressing domestic mining and supply chains. We have House Bill 5929, the Critical Mineral Supply Chain Resiliency Act of 2026, and House Bill 1501, the Protecting Domestic Mining Act of 2025. Both of these bills seek to streamline the federal permitting process for domestic mineral production.
Under House Bill 5929, defense-related mining and processing activities initiated under Presidential Determination 2022-11 would be classified as covered projects and tracked on the federal permitting dashboard. This prioritizes these initiatives under the Defense Production Act to enhance national security and supply chain stability, though project sponsors can choose to opt out of this expedited treatment.
Similarly, House Bill 1501 amends the FAST Act to explicitly classify mining and mineral processing as covered projects to accelerate approvals and reduce regulatory hurdles. It also explicitly prohibits the Federal Permitting Improvement Steering Council from finalizing or enforcing a specific 2023 proposed rule that would have restricted the scope of mining projects eligible for this expedited coverage. This bill has been reported to the House with amendments.
Now let us talk about water rights and resource management in the Southwest. House Bill 1323 and Senate Bill 563 are companion bills titled the Oke-Owenge Rio Chama Water Rights Settlement Act of 2025. This legislation aims to provide a final, equitable resolution to long-standing water rights claims involving the Oke-Owenge Pueblo, the state of New Mexico, and the United States.
It ratifies a comprehensive settlement agreement that confirms the Pueblo's water rights within the Rio Chama stream system and protects those rights from forfeiture or abandonment. To support these goals, the legislation mandates an appropriation of $745 million into a dedicated trust fund.
That trust fund will be managed by the Pueblo to support water infrastructure development, environmental compliance, agricultural improvements, and the restoration of the bosque, which is the riparian forest on Pueblo lands. It provides a clear legal framework for leasing and managing these resources, ensuring long-term water security for the pueblo, while fostering collaborative ecological restoration.
Next up is a major funding bill in the Senate, Senate Bill 2, known as the Secure America Act. This is a comprehensive appropriations bill for fiscal year 2026 that allocates tens of billions of dollars to the Department of Homeland Security to bolster border security and immigration enforcement.
The bill is divided into two primary focus areas. Title I provides funding for non-immigration-related operations, including personnel, technology upgrades, and specialized efforts to combat child exploitation and drug trafficking. Title II directs substantial resources toward immigration enforcement, including the hiring of agents, facility maintenance, transportation for removal operations, and increased coordination with state and local authorities. The funding is structured to manage border security and carry out removal proceedings through 2029.
In a separate effort concerning national leadership security, we have House Bill 8685, the Protect the Presidency Act. This bill, currently referred to the Committee on the Judiciary, seeks to amend federal law regarding the attempted assassination of high-ranking government officials by explicitly authorizing the death penalty as a potential punishment.
Moving on to community infrastructure and agency operations, let us look at Senate Bill 4505, introduced by Senator Joni Ernst, along with a bipartisan group of co-sponsors. This bill mandates that the United States Postal Service establish unique, dedicated zip codes for 75 specific communities across 25 states within 1 year of enactment. This is aimed at improving postal efficiency, local identity, and administrative clarity for these municipalities. It has been referred to the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs.
There is also a major focus on how federal agencies utilize emerging technology. House Bill 8881. The SBA Artificial Intelligence Utilization Act of 2026 mandates that the administrator of the Small Business Administration provide Congress with recurring annual reports and briefings regarding the agency's use of artificial intelligence and machine learning.
This bill is all about transparency and accountability. The Small Business Administration will be required to evaluate the specific benefits and risks of these technologies, particularly regarding operational efficiency, customer service, and decision-making. It also requires the agency to outline strategies for maintaining human oversight and rigorously assessing the reliability of these tools.
Finally, Congress has taken a strong, bipartisan stand on public safety by designating National Stalking Awareness Month. We see this across multiple resolutions: Senate Resolution 46 and House Resolution 99 for January 2025, and Senate Resolution 586 and House Resolution 1021 for January 2026.
The Senate unanimously agreed to Senate Resolution 46, and all of these resolutions serve to highlight the prevalence and severity of stalking in the United States. They point out that millions of individuals, particularly young adults and college students, are victimized annually, often by intimate partners or acquaintances, with technology frequently facilitating these crimes.
By formally designating these awareness months, the House and Senate aim to educate the public, encourage more aggressive investigation and prosecution by the criminal justice system, and promote the expansion of essential support services for victims. It calls upon policymakers, law enforcement, educational institutions, and the private sector to improve their coordinated response.
That brings us to the end of our legislative analysis. As we look ahead, listeners should watch out for several key developments. Keep an eye on the progress of the Secure America Act through the appropriations process, and watch for how the House Judiciary Committee handles the Protect the Presidency Act.
We will also be watching the implementation timeline for the new postal zip codes and the initial steps the Small Business Administration takes to report on its artificial intelligence systems. Thank you for listening to Capital Catch-Up.
See you next time.